trying to use it now to get a little bit of knowledge about what to expect when you put in that fresh rubber on these final laps in the session. We did see Tom Sykes had a crash down in turn 6 as well. Looks like he's been able to rejoin and hopefully able to get himself back to the pits.
Toprak Razgatlioglu, another 0.3 of a second he's found over the course of the two latest sectors. So 2/3 of a second now almost up after 3 completed sectors. This is going to be a blinding effort from Toprak Razgatlioglu with 4 minutes to go. Alex Lowe's at the moment is second fastest. He's going to cut the gap to Razgatlioglu at the top of the timing order, but it's not going to be for long. There goes Toprak's lap of 1 minute 35.407. That is a stunning effort from Razgatlioglu, more than a second faster than anyone else has been. Once again in free practice 1.
Yeah, I said at the start of the show that we might get down into the 34s. It looks like if anyone's gonna, it's only going to be Toprak, but he still needs to find another 0.4 of a second. But some riders are finding some pace. You can see there Leon Haslam with a good opening sector there for him to try and give himself a chance to try and improve on his fastest time. He's down in 12 fastest at the moment.
You're just making sure that Toprak's given a stretch target. That's standard practice, and it's all absolutely fine. But he's pushing towards it. Another fast first sector from Razgatlioglu with 3.5 minutes to go in FP1.
Yeah, really laying down a marker to everyone else, and Toprak very impressive with how quickly he's been able to get up to speed. We saw this earlier in the season in Most as well, a brand new track, and really in those opening couple of laps he was able to learn the track very quickly. Looks like it's been the same here.
Jonathan Ray still rooted to the pit box, and the statistics prove it along the bottom of the screen. Just 10 laps completed for Ray during this session. I said it earlier on, his running had been fairly restricted, while Toprak Razgatlioglu's out there about to pull another 0.3 of a second at least off his previous fastest time. Jonathan Ray stranded in 8th position and stranded in the pit box with work ongoing.
Yeah, and with only 2.5 minutes left, it's not too likely that he's going to get it back out. At the very least, he might manage to just get an out lap to make sure that the bike's okay for the afternoon, but that might be all that he's able to do in this session.
Toprak Razgatlioglu then over the line. Second run of the second lap of this final stint for Razgatlioglu, and he does get down into the 1 minute 34, so 1:34.985, and we're continuing to rub our eyes here in the commentary box with the alacrity with which Razgatlioglu has learned this circuit and is now pounding in the fast laps.
Yeah, 1.6 seconds clear of the rest of the field. Alex Lowe's up there in second fastest. Scott Redding 1.9 seconds off the pace. You can see there a bit of frustration for Jonathan Ray that he's not been able to get himself back out there after that first stint.
He was already starting on the back foot. He's going to feel even more on the back foot now. New circuit, first free practice session. Rivals storming away at the top of the timing charts, and 2.4 seconds down on him is Jonathan Ray. Now, clearly there's a tyre element to that. Clearly there's an element to which Toprak has been putting in an awful lot more laps during this session than Jonathan Ray's going to be on almost double the number of laps that Ray has managed by the end of this FP1. Razgatlioglu storming away then. I don't think he's got anything left in the locker to try and improve that time any further, although he does tend to be a man of surprises, doesn't he? Alex Lowe's improving on his latest lap as things stand. Likewise, Scott Redding has just crossed the line, 1:36.820. Michael Vandermark also moving up the order. He's doing a good job. Further back on the circuit, Alvaro Bautista in line to make some real progress. 1:37.3, his previous best during this session, and we pick up the Spaniard now.
Yeah, he moved himself up into the top 5 here. Bautista 6th fastest, 2 seconds off the pace, so he's there pretty much the same kind of lap times as Vinales and Axel Bassani. Scott Redding a couple of tenths of a second faster, but Alvaro with time for another lap at the end of this session.
Well, I was going to say 2.5 seconds off the pace of Razgatlioglu, because to be perfectly honest, from Lowe's in second position down, there's very little to choose between them. Lowe's with a 1:36.529. That's Garrett Gerloff, who's just come across the line with a 1:36.585. That's 1.6 seconds for Gerloff off Razgatlioglu. But from Lowe's all the way down past Jonathan Ray, who's now relegated outside of the top 10, but as you can see makes his way onto the circuit just to check that the machine is in working order, with only 20 seconds remaining until the checkered flag falls. But from Lowe's all the way down to Leon Haslam and Chaz Davies in 12th and 13th positions, just a second covering all of those riders.
Yeah, it is close in that second group, and what's going to be really interesting to see is what kind of progress everyone can make between free practice 1 and free practice 2, because spotting Toprak the second and a half, you kind of hope that a lot of that's just the fact that Toprak was willing to push harder than them at this stage, but we also know that the Yamaha as a package tends to work really well everywhere we've gone through the course of this season. So Toprak's Mark's going to feel with his base setting that he's got a pretty good option right from the outset, and obviously